Welcome to another great episode of Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television from the economic hub of Nigeria, Lagos. I am Henry Igwebike, and we kick off today with our newspapers, interestingly, and right after that will be our main conversation also for today. Do well to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can always find us when you reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am very so honored to have joining me via Zoom, Sonny Ibuanugo, a journalist, an author, a public affairs analyst, to see through all that we have from our newspapers, and possibly we crisscross through our main conversation for today. Good morning, Mr. Ibuanugo.
Good morning, Harry.
Thank you.
My pleasure indeed.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for your time. So I would love us to start with the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning, and the talking point for today would be Speaker Abbas, Africa's debt at critical point, and we have it authoritatively that the federal government as of today has borrowed about 149 trillion naira. That's the debt Nigeria is owing across the world. I would love you to speak to me on this particular matter. At the point when President Bola Tinubu said he is coming to cut costs and help Nigerians save more money, but of course, the nature of borrowing has ballooned. What's your take on this?
Well, I think it is not new what we are experiencing now. The best our President Bola Tinubu has done so far is his promise to continue where his predecessor, late President Muhammadu Buhari, stopped. He made that promise after his election. He gave that promise that he was going to continue where the late president stopped. And you know that the late president, his 8 years was signposted and marked by indiscriminate, reckless, and irresponsible borrowing mechanism. That was what signposted his 8 years in office, that plunged this country into a never known before, never seen before regime of backwardness, and threw this country into the abyss of despair. So if anything, President Tinubu has done excellently well, only in his reckless borrowing, but extending it to a ridiculous level that we have found ourselves now. So it is not that Abbas, Tajuddin Abbas, our Speaker of House of Representatives, is coming up with this red lights. Yeah, and of course, I'll update too late in the day for him to start talking about something everybody has known and then people have been crying about. But this issue of indiscriminate borrowing that puts the former Senate President Saraki at loggerheads with the late Muhammad Buhari, because at a point, Saraki saw the red lights, the red signs, and they would not cooperate. But that was why, of course, part of the reason he was never allowed to come back. Now, when he was replaced, the Lawan administration in the Senate said boldly that anything the late president presented to the national, to the Senate will be approved because, in his words, the president means well or meant well at that time. So we will not be surprised that we are into this level of debt over we have never seen before in the history of this country. So we are nobody is surprised. That's my reaction. Nobody should be surprised. And we are, from the look of things, they are just, by the time this government ends, you and I will be not carted away back to the US to work on plantation and sugarcane plantation for the level of debts that will be owing maybe all parts of the world. Thank you, Henry.
Yeah, it's actually very funny. I remember when Godswill Akpabio said that by the time Tinubu is through with Nigeria, Nigeria will not be the same again. I know he said it with respect to the fact that President Bola Tinubu would revamp Nigeria, but it's becoming obvious that what that particular statement meant was that, just like you said, possibly, hysterically, that we might all be taken as slaves to the Americas yet again for sugarcane plantation. Funnily, as funny as it is, but that is serious business, you will agree with me, sir. But let's go to the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. Now we have another interesting story. Tinubu orders overhaul of military operation after Borno massacre. Yet again, Mr. Iwanugo, the bandits, insurgents, have killed about 5 gallant military officers, plus about 30 plus Borno indigents, Nigerians, yet again. And the President Bola Tinubu is overhauling the military operation. Is he changing the top echelon, or is it the same, using little solutions for a big problem?
I think the solution does not lie in frantic efforts to be seen doing something. The solution lies in having the right mindset to eradicate crimes and terrorism and banditry in Nigeria. You must have that way power, that political impetus to do so. If you do not have it, then there is nothing you can say that will change the scenario. You recall what they ago, a few days ago, that they know where these bandits are, they know where these criminals are. But to get at them and wipe them out, at the time the operation was going on, they were pulled back, they were ordered back. It is the same story in Plateau. It is the same story in Benue. It is the same story in Borno. That when they tell you that there is an infiltration of our military, then you know that this battle is beyond what the ordinary eyes can see. It is not the battle of, no matter what you change, if you do not change the attitude of the highest echelon in this country, what surprises me is what is their reason for not having the right attitude, for not, unleashing the battle cry that is necessary for Nigeria to get out of this problem. I don't. But you can rest assured that they don't have that political will. And that is where the problem is. The problem is not in the echelon, it is not in the structure of the military. The Nigerian military, when they go out of this country, they come back with laurels. They excel in every other part of the world. But in Nigeria, little problems, wherever you find the bandits, wherever you find these problems, you find that it is more or less than eradicated. That is the problem. It is not about change of gas. It is about developing the courage and political will. When I'm not saying when I make this statement, it's not they are not my own statements. The governor of Plateau State came out to tell you that the people perpetrating the heinous crimes in Plateau State are, in fact, they called it genocide. It was from his own mouth, they called it genocide. That they are taking lands of the people, displacing people and taking their land. As they are displacing people and taking their land, is it not clear to everybody where these lands, these people have been displaced and then people have taken that land? Is it not clear to people that if somebody took somebody's land and is occupying it, that person should be taken out? So what is the reason why these people are not taken out? The same thing, the same scenario in Plateau State is the same scenario in Benue State, where people, original inhabitants, are being displaced and their lands taken over by a group of people. Why is it so difficult to confront those people who are taking those land and restore the original owners of the land? Why? This is the answer to your question, Tony. This is the answer to your question, the political will. So that you find out that what we have is that the peoples that are supposed to eradicate this give the indication, give the picture that can be interpreted by any right-thinking member of the society. And in defining the term right-thinking member of the society, I will go to Justice Obiora Nwatoka, the former Chief Justice of Anambra State, who said that right-thinking members of the society are not the fishmongers in the market or the pepper sellers. There are people like you and I who have seen the four walls of primary and secondary school and who can analyze issues. In your own interpretation, Tony, why is it impossible to confront those people who are taking people's land? It is the same thing with Boko Haram, who are causing havoc in Borno State. Is it right to confront them frontally? We saw what happened when they kidnapped an American. We saw what happened. The Americans came to Nigeria here, organized the operation and rescued the man and decimated hundreds of Boko Haram people. So why is it impossible for our military to do so? Is it a matter of lack of equipment, or a matter of the structure of the military, or a matter of lack of political will? Those are the questions that are begging for answers. And in getting at what you are saying, we must answer those critical questions.
Very true. We must answer the critical questions, and the questions are anchored on complicity at this point. If it is right, I do hope that this particular quote is substantiated when it's often said by General Sani Abacha, when terrorism or banditry, insurgency continues more than 24 hours, then the government of the day is involved in it. So Sani Abacha did say, which equally raises the question if there is something happening behind the curtain that Nigerians are yet to see and understand. But let's get to fuel at this point. 5% fuel consumption tax. TUC issues 14-day strike notice. Mr. Igbanugo, speak to us on this, because we still cannot understand why the president has removed subsidy when he should be blessing Nigerians, and yet again he is asking Nigerians to pay 5% fuel tax from next year, January 1st. Does it really make any sense from a leader?
Well, Henry, the question you asked me, the answer is there in the public domain. This government, the government of the APC, right from inception, has always been government. It is governed, or it is superintended by what our people say, the king that deceives his subjects. In less than 2 minutes, after President Bola Tinubu took over, this country was plunged into the deepest, in fact, the bottomless pit of hunger, deprivation, and poverty in just 1 second or 1 minute. In fact, before the ink on which he etched his signature, declaring his being pronounced after being pronounced president, the ink with which he etched, he signed his signature on those dotted lines. Before the ink dried up, Nigeria had been plunged into a complete hopelessness, and that is where we have been all these years, these 2 years plus. And you would have excused this government if there is no banquet, if it was a situation where everybody was tightening his belt, including the government. But that has never been the situation. The government is throwing a banquet while asking people to tighten their belts. That has been the picture of the government all along, the government of President Bola Tinubu. Nigerians have never known this level of suffering. Nigerians have never seen this type of pain. You know, Nigeria is a place where it is no longer news that people scaled the barriers of Third Mainland Bridge and plunged themselves into the land. It is now a constant occurrence because many people cannot bear what is going on in this country. And to tell you that this government is a soulless government, the more the people suffer, the more they squeeze them. Where I place this issue of the 5% of what they call petroleum consumption tax. That is where I place it. The spirit of this government, both body and spirit, is to flog Nigerians with the biblical snakes, and scorpions. After the late Muhammad Buhari flogged the same nation with Koboko and with electric wire. This government is now flogging Nigeria with scorpions, and that is the context in which we must read meaning into this their next move. And they will not stop there. They are just beginning. They will continue on this trajectory until thy kingdom come. until you know when they will stop. They will never stop. They will never stop until Nigeria is completely, you and I will start finding our food in the dustbin. If they don't achieve that, they cannot rest. And it is so painful that there is no remedy, because you cannot from even vote.
It's actually very deplorable, Mr. Ibuanugo, that we're having this issue, and while Nigerians cry, while Nigerians gnash their teeth, and the government seem not to listen, seem not to care, are not perturbed by some of the things happening. It's a growing problem. But let's, just before we end for this particular segment, let's go to the Punch newspaper. Compensation row may steal or stall 712 billion Lagos airport revamp. Mr. Ibuanugo, you know the federal government through Keyamo said they were going to revamp or repair or renovate the Murtala Mohammed International Airport with 712 billion naira. We Nigerians have cried like, are we building a new airport? And now we have it. That kickbacks and what Nigerians will term as bribery, might be the reason why this might not happen again. So does it mean that all the while what Keyamo has stated was actually not meant for the revamping or renovation of the international airport?
Well, what you can say, you can always find out that everybody is taking a cue from the head. When the head is rotting, the rest of the body, you can anticipate what will happen to the rest of the body. It is a bazaar that we are experiencing in this country in terms of the level of governance. So everybody does what they like. It presents, as long as you are part of the deal. You present whatever is. In fact, there's no level, or there's no longer any level of scrutiny, believe or behave or believe that government, as long as part of the cabal in this government, you can present anything and it goes. That is what we are experiencing now. That the amount with which you can build two standard airports in other clients, is what we are using to repair or to rehabilitate one airport in Nigeria. It is just like the International Conference Center in Abuja. You know the amount that was used to build the International Conference Center, and we are using 39 billion to rehabilitate it. So it's just like that. If the story continues to go like that, for as long as we are in the good books of this government, just present anything, it will be approved, and nobody asks you questions on how you implement. For as long as you are in good books, it is a terrible situation, and nobody knows when this will end, because these people are not prepared to live. And the worst part of it is that Nigerians cannot just send them away because of what they are putting in place as the templates. Where the hope of the common man ought to lie is the ballot box, but they are also making that what we have is a complete state capture. And when the state is captured completely, we are in deep shit, in deep mess. So I am not surprised what is coming out from that project. I watch KMO on TV, explaining the project. It is not about how smooth your ability to talk through to talk through these issues, but in your intent, what is actually the picture before the people, and that picture does not look good. It does not. The people in government today do not smell roses. They don't smell roses at all, and that is a very sad situation.
Very sad situation indeed. And it's our intention that things will get better. But of course, it would never get better when the intention of those who have been given the responsibility to make it better is not to help with the situation, but to worsen it. One will be surprised why President Bola Tinubu, someone who said he was a Democrat, someone who said that he wasn't actually interested in our money, that he is here to make things better, how that under his very nose, all of these things are happening while he watches and sits back and hope that miraculously things will get better. Well, we truly do hope, since we're a prayerful country, that things will get better, and hope that Nigerians would heave a sigh of relief as time goes by. Just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, that Sonny Wanugo would be here in the GP to take us on our main conversation. That is when we return. PDP and Jonathan allies pressure Peter Gregory Obi to join 2027 opposition coalition. That in a bit is still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back. For being back, and if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our conversation for today. In preparation for the 2027 presidential election, allies of the former President Goodluck Jonathan and top PDP leaders are actively working to form a united opposition capable of challenging the ruling APC and President Bola Tinubu, who has been endorsed by his party for re-election. With the PDP zoning its ticket to the south, the race is shaping up to be a southern contest. Efforts are on the way to convince Jonathan to join the race, while key figures are also wooing a former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi to return to the PDP. Obi, who left the PDP in 2022 and has since emerged as a prominent opposition voice, is backing a broader coalition that includes the African Democratic Congress ADC and features political heavyweights like Rotimi Amaechi, David Mark, Rauf Aregbesola, Nasir el-Rufai. Though non-committal about rejoining the PDP or formally aligning with the ADC, Obi has expressed support for any movement aimed at unseating the APC. Other southern politicians reportedly eyeing the 2027 race include Rotimi Amaechi and Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde. Let's get talking. I still have with me Sonny Iwanugo. Thank you so very much for hanging on. We truly do appreciate you. Mr. Iwanugo, are you still there with us? All right, so let's go for a quick break just to get the connections right, and we'll be right back.
My people, the elections are around the corner. Before you know it, it will be 2027. But before then, for you to partake in the election, you must have your voter's card. And for you to have your voter's card, you must register. INEC has rolled out the drums. We call this program Continuous Voters Registration. And it is for you to register. This is to do that if you want to vote. And it's important that you take part in the process of voting. Just go there, give them your name and your address. That's all. And of course, they will capture you, take your picture, and that's all. You are done. Within 5 minutes, you are done. And after that, when the time comes, they call it claims and objection time. That's when you look at it. They will paste all the results or the names of those that have registered all over the places. You will go to the place you register, check your name that is well spelled, and the information you've given them correct. And that's all. After some time again, they will tell you that your voter's card is ready. You go and pick it. That is all. Be a good Nigerian citizen. Partake in the process, because it's a duty imposed on you by Section 23 of the 1999 Constitution as a good citizen. And you will be better off by voting, because you have your mind that, yes, you voted right. I'm Wale Ogunade, constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and President Voters Awareness Initiative. Thank you.
The highly anticipated book titled Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This explosive new book takes you on a journey through the finest writing of the ace journalist and broadcaster that will leave you inspired and informed.
Citizen Jones Selected Prologues of Volume 1 now available. Get your copy now.
For details, contact 0706 9637 935 or send an email to enterprisetv@gmail.com. Citizen Jones Selected Prologues, a classical compendium of compelling arguments.
My people, the elections are around the corner. Before you know it, it will be 2027. But before then, for you to partake in the election, you must have your voter's card. And for you to have your voter's card, you must register. INEC has rolled out the drums. We call this program Continuous Voters Registration. And it is for you to register. This is to do that if you want to vote. And it's important that you take part in the process of voting. Just go there, give them your name and your address. That's all. And of course, they will capture you, take your picture, and that's all. You are done. Within 5 minutes, you are done. And after that, when the time comes, they call it claims and objection time. That's when you look at it. They will paste all the results or the names of those that have registered all over the places. You will go to the place you register, check your name that is well spelled, and the information you've given them correct. And that's all. After some time again, they will tell you that your voter's card is ready. You go and pick it. That is all. Be a good Nigerian citizen. Partake in the process, because it's a duty imposed on you by Section 23 of the 1999 Constitution as a good citizen. And you will be better off by voting, because you have your mind that, yes, you voted right. I'm Wale Ogunade, constitutional lawyer, human rights activist, and President Voters Awareness Initiative. Thank you.
So very much for being back, and if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Television, and I love to go through our main conversation yet again, so as to get everyone updated on what we have coming from our reportage, where we have it that in preparation for the 2027 presidential election, allies of the former President Goodluck Jonathan and top PDP leaders are actively working to form a united opposition capable of challenging the ruling APC and President Bola Tinubu, who has been endorsed by his party for re-election. With the PDP zoning its ticket to the south, the race is shaping up to be a southern contest. Efforts are underway to convince Goodluck Jonathan to join the race, while key figures are also wooing former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi to return to the PDP. Obi, who left the PDP in 2027 and has since emerged as a prominent opposition voice, is backing a broader coalition that includes the African Democratic Congress ADC and features political heavyweights like Rotimi Amaechi, David Mark, Rauf Aregbesola, and Nasir el-Rufai. Though non-committal about rejoining the PDP or formally aligning with the ADC, Obi has expressed support for any movement aimed at unseating the APC. Other southern politicians reportedly eyeing the 2027 race include Amaechi and Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde. I still have with me Sonny Igboanugo. Thank you so very much, Mr. Igboanugo, for hanging on. Are you there, sir? Okay, we can hardly hear him. Mr. Igboanugo, are you there? So let's get our connections right, and I think it's very important that we talk about some of these things and hope that he's there. Are you there, Mr. Igboanugo? All right, I think we're still having a little bit of glitch there. We can hardly hear him right here in our studios. Yes, I can hear you now very well. Thank you so very much for hanging on. Yes. So let's, just before we get into talking about the PDP interest for Peter Obi, let's get to Anambra State for a bit, especially knowing that the governorship election for 2025 off-cycle will be happening on the 8th of November 2025. Right now we have about 12 candidates from 12 political parties, every party represented, for the gubernatorial election in Anambra State. How is the situation there right now as we speak?
Well, the situation is that the government in power is preparing to win the election by all means, while the opposition is gearing up, sensitizing the people to ensure that the government in power is removed. Because just like it is happening at the national level, the government in power in Anambra State is grossly underwhelming in its performance. It has not been able to scratch at to the people about 4 years ago. The picture is that of anguish and pain, especially when you talk, when you think about insecurity. Anambra State has been thrown into a bit of hell over the years as a result of insecurity, where bandits raise down local governments without consequences, where people pick
I can hear you. Are you still there? We're still having a bit of an issue with our network there. Are you still there, Mr. Igboanugo? All right, I think we're still having a little bit of a technical glitch there, and Igboanugo was speaking to the issue happening in Anambra State, Nigeria, off-cycle election coming up on the 8th of November 2025, and he was speaking to me on the current situation. stating that the ruling party in the state, ABGA, under Professor Chukwuma Soludo, is not giving up and also having his way and his say with what is happening in Anambra. Are you still there, Mr. Ibuanugo? All right, I think we're still having a bit of a technical glitch there, and which of course we promise to fix in a bit. This is still Enterprise Morning. I have Sonny Ibuanugo as my guest. Are you there now? Can you hear me? All right, so let's quickly go for a quick break, and this is still Enterprise Morning. We'll be right back after connection is restored. That in a bit. Please don't go anywhere.
My people, the elections are around the corner. Before you know it, it will be 2027. But before then, for you to partake in the election, you must have your voter's card. And for you to have your voter's card, you must register. INEC has rolled out the drums. We call this program Continuous Voters Registration. And it is for you to register. This is to do that if you want to vote. And it's important that you take part in the process of voting. Just go there, give them your name and your address. That's all. And of course, they will capture you, take your picture, and that's all. You are done. Within 5 minutes, you are done. And after that, when the time comes, they call it claims and objection time. That's when you look at it. They will paste all the results or the names of those that have registered all over the places. You will go to the place you register, check your name that is well spelled, and the information you've given them correct. And that's all. After some time again, they will tell you that your voter's card is ready. You go and pick it. That is all. Be a good Nigerian citizen.
Much for being back, and Mr. Ibuanugo, are you there?
Yes. I can hear you.
Okay, very well. We had a bit of a glitch there. We couldn't hear you, but I think it's okay now. So you were speaking to issues happening in Anambra, and you said that the ruling party, that is ABGA, under Charles Chukwuma Soludo, is having his way. How much of that way is he having in the election coming up?
He's having his way. I'm trying to give you the impression of the level of desperation in his government, both by himself and those working with him. There's a lot of desperation to capture, to return in 2026, perspective of the underwhelming performance of government in delivering the promises made to the people of Anambra State, which is principally to transform Anambra into the Dubai, Taiwan model in Africa, to make Anambra the Dubai, Taiwan model of Africa. He has failed completely in achieving that, and he has not scratched the surface in achieving it. And most of all, Anambra is grossly. I was giving you a description of how, before now, bandits or criminals or
Are you still there? I just sincerely hope that we'll get the connection right. There are a lot of glitch here and there. This is very so important, and It's sad that we're having this a bit of a glitch there, but of course we promise to restore and have this going on. Mr. Wanuga, are you still there? The network is a bit shaky here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Wanugo? All right, so let's go for yet another break, and we hope to restore this and get it all worked up and ensure that this broadcast continues. This is still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. The highly anticipated book titled Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This explosive new book takes you on a journey through the finest writing of the ace journalist and broadcaster that will leave you inspired and informed.
The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues of Volume 1 now available. Get your copy now.
For details, contact 0706 9637 935 or send an email to enterprisetv@gmail.com. Citizen Jones Selected Prologues, a classical compendium of compelling arguments.
The highly anticipated book titled Citizen Jones Selected Prologues is finally here.
This explosive new book takes you on a journey through the finest writing of the ace journalist and broadcaster that will leave you inspired and informed.
The Citizen Jones Selected Prologues of Volume 1 now available. Get your copy now.
For details, contact 0706 9637 935 or send an email to enterprisetv@gmail.com. Citizen Jones Selected Prologues, a classical compendium of compelling arguments.
The highly anticipated book titled Citizen Jones Selected Prologues. We were speaking to the issue of Anambra election happening come November. Mr. Wanuga, are you still there? We're having a little bit of a glitch.
Yes. I'm sorry about that.
Yes.
Yes, I was telling you, this government is completely, the government in Anambra State is completely desperate to capture the will of the people through the back door. It's no longer, it's not from the look of things that are prepared to win their plot is to capture the votes of Anambra State through the back door. And that is quite unfortunate. But the opposition is rising up to because the African Democratic Congress it's John Tumku is sensitizing the people about the thought or the thought of capturing the votes. I see in the last by-election, where government officials were seen practically buying the people's votes and people's shares, who are thrown into abject poverty, who are we are meant to sell their books, and at the end of the day, the activists won in the two elections that happened in the state, and there is a lot of bloating in government. And I think that from looking at that model, that is what they are going to unleash in the November 8th election, which is unfortunate that they are husbanding the Commonwealth of Anambra people to unleash it on that day. This is what we saw on August 16th, I'm sure it will not be different from what will happen in November 9th. In fact, they will increase the tempo. That is what I'm going to see on that day. And but the agency, especially and other opposition parties, are certain Anambra people, impinging it on them to look beyond their noses, to understand that we have 4 more years to go after you cook a pot of soup, a mudu of gari with the 20,000 naira they give you, which I'm sure in the November 8th election, they can even increase it by 100,000 naira. Not to take you within a month, not to talk about 4 years. So whatever they are plotting, whatever they are doing, whatever plots, intimidation, including intimidation on the people, which is reflected in the security outfit that they intro in the state, which is unleashing serious violence and pain, brutality on people. They are going to use it also to see how they can capture the state, capture the hopes of the people. But all those put in one basket, the will of the people will triumph and prevail. I think that is the people between good and the bad and the beautiful. So that unfortunately is coming in Anambra State on November 8th. And Anambra people are being prepared to confront the frontline.
Yes, we hope that the will of the people would prevail. It's actually very surprising. Anambra, of all people, we never thought that anyone can use money to persuade them, to make them do what they don't want to do. I remember many years ago, during elections, people would, yes, collect the money and vote for the person of their choice, which happened when Soludo came into power the first time. People collected money, but they voted for Soludo. So why is it a different thing now? We have opposition from the ADC, Nwosu Chima, John. We have other people like from the Labour Party, Mogalu George, Nnadubem, and other interesting people from the APC, Okachuku Nicola. So are you saying that all of these persons do not have what it means or what it takes to persuade the Anambra man to tell him, yes, they might give you money, that this money is not even close to what you make yourself doing your trade and your business?
You know, there are people of Anambra State, P2B, left a legacy in the state, being followed by his followers in the state. Many of his followers, especially the ADC, that has taken it upon itself to adopt the philosophy of not giving shishi. Yes. That is the philosophy of the ADC. So whatever other people are doing, whatever other political parties are doing, the ADC will not join, knowing that the philosophy of their principal, especially when it has shown example in the state, will not to be the route to follow. So that aspect of matching them money by money or money for money, which you know is impossible because they have state resources, it's not the right path to follow. Rather, and at the ADC, we, as it is doing right now, is going into the streets to knocking on doors of the people to explain to them the implication of what they are doing or what is likely to confront them if they continue on this route of collecting money. But you know, how much can you preach to people that are hungry? There's people that, you know, have been thrown into abject poverty by the policies of government. You understand? So, and you see, the state institutions or the institutions of government have not helped matters. Have not helped matters. So that is the situation. The state institutions have not helped matters. There's a level, so much level of violence and brutality against the people through what they call the Akudo people, through what they call the
Udogachi.
Agune Chamber.
Yes.
Udogachi operation to the NYC female NYC
yeah, youth corps member. Yeah.
That is the tip of the iceberg in what these people can do. And the only luck that lady had was that she's not from Anambra State, and she's a government pikin, so to say, as they say. If she were not a government pikin, or the tape did not leak, then that matter would have been buried as other matters have been buried. That is the problem we have in Anambra State. No matter how much you shout, no matter what you say, nobody cares to listen to you. Worse things have happened in this state. People have been mowed down in a hail of bullets by this group and labeled armed robbers or labeled criminals only for subsequent revelations showing that these people were innocent people. One of them was the one that happened in Owolezukan. We had 3 people who were wrought iron designers working in the house owned by the Reverend Father. We are pulled down and mowed down in a hail of bullets in the daylight. And other members of the community rounded up and declared criminals. It was only the outcry of the people that saved that situation for those people to be released. But today, the 3 people that were killed in that escapade, in that operation, nobody has answered the question about them. Nobody has been brought to book. Nobody is known to have been questioned by either the police or anybody. You are aware of the case of Justice Azuka, the legislator from
the Labour Party, yes.
Yes, today, the people that were arrested as who are culprits, those who allegedly killed that gentleman, nobody knows what happened to them. Nobody knows. They say some of them escaped, but those who did not escape, who are still, why haven't you brought them to trial? These are the issues. So, but when people don't know the level of suffering Anambra people are going through. People don't know, and that is why it is important. That is what ADC is taking to town to explain to people the implication of all these things, and that is why I believe that come November 8th, Anambra people will take their decision.
Yes, sincerely, we hope that Anambra will take their decision and see themselves as one state that is very peaceful, a state that is entrepreneurial, a state that is the beehive of activity and commercial things happening there. But let's get back to Peter Obi at this point, because that's what we have on our reportage now. Where do you think he stands at this point? I would love to believe Peter Obi should be one individual that is in a cul-de-sac. He is not in PDP, he is not in ADC, he is not in Labour Party, like we have seen lots of things happening there. Where exactly is Peter Obi at this point? Because you said in one of the answers you were given that his mentees are actually taking, things from him. He has not declared for the ADC yet. So where is Peter Obi at this point?
Well, I do not speak for Peter Obi. I don't speak for him, but I know that Peter Obi is quite supportive, and Anambra people are yearning for. I know that P2B has told you that he's a member of the Labour Party, but he's still in the coalition. That tells you a lot. The Labour Party from the last election, as it appears, has no candidate. The last by-election showed you that the Labour Party has no candidate. So if the Labour Party has no manipulations that we found in the last few months, and then P2B supported the ADC in the by-election, you can understand where his alliance, where he's aligning to. So
but is Moghalu not, Mr. Gwanugo, is Moghalu not the governorship candidate of the Labour Party with what I have here?
I have presented the picture to you.
Okay.
The Labour Party candidates were there until the last day of the last week of the election, when INEC released their final list of candidates. I don't think the situation will be different in the November 8th election. I don't think the picture will be different. So it's important. It's incumbent on Anambra people to know where to align to. And for me to, since I don't speak a P2B, I cannot be categorical. But looking at the picture of events and the sequence of events, it is very clear where it is.
So I would love you to speak to us on this gentleman, Nwosu Chima John, governorship candidate of the ADC. Speak to us about him. What is different about him? Why do you think the Anambra people should go for him? What is he bringing to the table that is different from what Professor Chukwuma Soludo has done?
Well, what is different in the first place is that the two Mangus will not lie to the people. Will not tell you, will not promise you what they cannot do. And which is what has happened in our situation here in the last 4 years, where we are promised to buy Taiwan of Africa, and not a scratch of that has happened. In fact, the highest the governor here has gotten is mediocrity. Just, even plunging Anambra into the backwaters of everything, development and politics, taking Anambra to the go-getter in terms of politics, because from his pull him down syndrome, it is very clear that even the one eye which Anambra people are seeing now, he wants to pierce it and blind it so that nobody can see again. So that is what is happening in Anambra, and that is what Chumangusu will not do. Chumangusu understands the reading of the music in Nigeria today. ADC is the platform for the real change that Nigeria is yearning for. And that change that Nigeria is yearning for will start from Anambra State. And that is what we are going for. As for what John Chumangusu is bringing on the table, he is an ICT guru. What Anambra people have not been able to do is to recreate what happened immediately after the war. He create a scenario.
Okay.
In the Second Republic, when the late President Seyi Shagari was coming to campaign in Anambra, he stood at the Onitsha Head Bridge and looked into Anambra. He exclaimed, "Is this where the war happened?" And that creation, that vibrancy, those tall created from the immediate confines of Anambra landscape. No, people of Anambra State found themselves out to various countries of the world and to harness and to harness the resources of other people and brought them in Anambra to develop Anambra State. That this government has not been able to inspire people to do likewise. That is what John Chumang also is likely to do, because he is a man vast in ICT, a man that has businesses, business network, business beyond Nigeria to other African countries and even beyond. So that is the clear difference. You must see far. You must see beyond your immediate environment. You must be able to take the gown to town. That is what is going on, and he's going to do it with his James agenda, which, number one, is to ensure security of Anambra people, which he will do scientifically, not through crude methods of using acid pesto to break people's legs or people's spines. He's going to do it scientifically by creating a digital spreadsheet in Anambra State, where if you stole a vehicle at Ochanja Market, before you get to Upper Iweta, you are confronted, because there will be a command and control center that will monitor the entire gamut of Anambra landscape. So that even if you kidnap somebody at a club, before you get to Oga, you'll be confronted and you'll be decimated. By the time one or two incidents of that happen, and you know that there is 99% of chances of your being confronted, of your being arrested, crime will go. And once crime is eradicated in Anambra State, every other thing will fall into place. You see the level of the decadence in our education. What P2B as governor of Anambra State left, when Anambra people became number one, when Anambra State became the number one in both NECO and WAEC, when Anambra became the first in terms of NDGs, all of those are plunged into the deep abyss. And today what we have is a mediocre situation. We cannot continue like that. And that is what
all right. We sincerely hope for the best in Anambra State. Anambra is one state in the southeast of Nigeria, the southern part of Nigeria equally, that is pivotal to the growth of the region and to Nigeria in its entirety. We hope for better days. We hope that there would be peace in Anambra, and come November 8th, when the election would take hold, that there would be a lasting peace, and of course people would have the chance to vote for who they truly do desire. Thank you so very much, Sonny Banugo, for being here. We truly do appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Henry.
All right. Thank you. So that's just about the time we have. We'd love to say thank you, everyone, for making this a date. Please do well to visit us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.